second graders. I'm back with one of your favorite things that we're going to be practicing today for phonics, and it is syllabication. Many of you really enjoy syllabication. Remember that syllabication is where we practice breaking those bigger words, those multi-syllable words, down into each syllable or each chunk that we can read easier. The syllabication is becoming easier for you because you have all learned so many syllable types. So let's go back over those syllable types now just to be sure you remember them. So I'm going to put them right here. This was our first syllable type and syllabication pattern that we learned. And this is our closed syllable. So you notice we have in our red here, this red word is a two-syllable word. We know that because we spotted our vowels, we drew our bridge, we labeled our consonants, and we knew that our vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel pattern tells us to divide right down between the two consonants. And so we had a closed syllable with the consonant at the end here saying hob, and a closed syllable with the consonant at the end here saying knob. And so our word was hobnob. Now, we went from that to open syllable pattern, where we also, first thing, found our vowels and we drew our bridge. We labeled our consonant, but on this one we only had our one consonant on the bridge, and we knew that our rule was to try in front of that consonant first, send it to the back. That made this syllable open, and our word is hobo. So that's our open syllable pattern, and you remember that very well. Then we went to our magic E syllable pattern. And remember that when we have our magic E syllable, it's going to be located at the end of our word. So this one is actually mixed with an open syllable pattern. So now we're getting into words where we might have an open syllable and a magic E syllable in the same word. Or we may have an open syllable and a closed syllable. They may mix it up on us a little bit. So it's not always going to be the same syllable type, especially with magic E or silent E, because that's going to come at the end of your word. Now, here we had an open syllable at the beginning. We had our magic E at the end, because we remembered that if we see that E at the end, we have to check to see if it could be that vowel consonant E pattern, and it was. So this was our magic E syllable. Remember that we label it with the M-E for magic E. And so we had our open syllable at the beginning, low, our magic E syllable at the end, Kate, locate. From there, we moved into another syllable pattern that we learned, and these are all review for you, I know, but I wanted to go back over it because it's been a little while since we've syllabicated. So here's our vowel team syllable. And so on our vowel team syllable, we have two vowels together, and we underlined both of those vowels with the same line to make a bridge between them. So we underlined our EA, we underlined our OA, because we recognized that was a vowel team with them side by side. We drew our bridge, labeled our consonants on the bridge, and we said those are kind of like cars. You can only have the two cars on the bridge. One goes one way, one goes the other, so they do not crash into each other. So we divide right down between them, and here we had steam, boat. We labeled them vowel team because we knew those were vowel teams, and we know in a vowel team, our first vowel is the one going to make the sound, and it's going to say its name, right? Okay, so that was our vowel team review. Then we came to our Bossy R syllable. Our Bossy R is just like it sounds. That R follows that vowel, and it kind of takes over it. It bosses it, and so you only hear the R. It's also called an R-controlled vowel. In the Bossy R pattern, notice that we underlined our vowel and our R together because we recognized if that R followed that vowel, it must be a Bossy R. So that's what we did on both of these. And then we noticed only one consonant on the bridge, and we remembered our rule. We divide in front of that consonant to see if that's the correct sound first. So we read turb, and we have perturb was our word. It's a Bossy R syllable. Now, in this case, we actually have two Bossy R syllables in this word, but it could have a Bossy R syllable and a different syllable in the same word, and we're going to see words like that too. And then we came to our last syllable type that we learned, and it was the consonant LE syllable. This one, remember that we have to notice there's an E on the end of that word, and we have to check for two different things it could be. It could be the magic E, and it could be the consonant LE. So the way we decide is we look back. If it was the magic E, we would have a vowel here. Is that a vowel? No, that's a consonant. So this is the consonant, and then there's an L and an E. So yep, we know that's the consonant LE pattern. We can go ahead and circle that and take it right off the back. Then we divide it here, and we see we have a consonant following that one vowel. So we have a closed syllable saying grid, and our consonant LE syllable saying dull. This word is griddle. So this was our consonant LE syllable. And those were the 6 basic syllable types that we want you to know. And those are the 6 basic syllable types that you need to know. But what you need to know now that we've been working with diphthongs is that you're also going to see some patterns with diphthongs, and you're going to see those in words that need to be divided and broke apart so that you can read those bigger words. So I put this as a diphthong pattern, not a diphthong syllable, because we've already taught you there's really only 6 basic syllable types, so I don't want to confuse you. This is not necessarily a syllable as much as I just want you to notice that it's the diphthong and not the vowel team. So here's our OU from this week. Remember, OU and OW is what we're working on this week. Saying owl because of those bully, W and U, okay? So in this case, whenever we see that OU together, notice that we underlined that just like we underline our vowel team. Only in this case, it's not going to make a vowel team sound where the first vowel says its name because it's a diphthong. So it's going to say ow. Now over here, we have a bossy R. We noticed that R follows that vowel. We knew that was a bossy R pattern. So we divided it. After we drew our bridge here, we have our vowel and our vowel. We have our 2 consonants. We divided it right down between the 2 consonants. And we have the first syllable floun, the second syllable dur, flounder. So this part is what I wanted you to notice. When we labeled that diphthong, we labeled it with a DI for diphthong instead of the VT like you would be tempted to do as a vowel team, because remember, this is not a vowel team. Now, to give you a little practice for this week, I have, oops, Miss Brantley sat here and erased this word. So let me rewrite it. I have a word that we are going to syllabicate today, and you have this word on one of your sheets for this week, on your syllabication sheet. I'm going to syllabicate this for you, and you can do it along with me if you'd like, but I'm going to just help you to see the process all the way through with the diphthongs. Let me double check that you can see that. Okay, looks like I need to scoot my camera over a little bit, and now you can see it. Okay, so remember, like any time that we are going to syllabicate, our first step is to spot our vowels. I see the OU there together. I'm going to underline them together. And then I see another vowel over here in I. I underlined my OU because I remember that those are diphthongs and they stay together to make one sound. Now that I have my vowels underlined, I can either mark my V here and then draw my bridge down from there, or it's okay to mark your V's under here. It's up to you on how your teacher has shown you to do it. Now that our vowels are marked, our bridge is built, we have to see how many consonants are on the bridge. And I notice there's 2 consonants on the bridge. So what is our rule when we have 2 consonants on the bridge? It's like 2 cars on the bridge. One goes one way, one goes the other. We split right down the middle. So now I'm looking to see my first syllable. It is a diphthong syllable, so I'm going to label that as a DI for diphthong. And I'm going to pronounce that first syllable out. I remember ow, that U is pinching that O, out. And then I'm looking over here and I just see one vowel and I see a consonant behind it. I know that's a closed syllable. I'm going to mark it CL. I even like to put my breve right there to remind me to say the short vowel sound if you like to do that. And this one says wit. Now my word is outwit, outwit. Okay, so that is one of the words that's on your syllabication sheet. So if you did along with me, great job. If you didn't, you might want to watch this and double check yourself and see if you did it that way. I'm going to do one more word for you and with you, and then I will leave you to do them on your own. We also included a sheet for your parents to help you check your answers. And so it's a guide that's going to tell you if you did it correctly. I'm sure you all did. So let me write my word. Have another word. This one's a little bit longer. And then we're going to syllabicate it. I know some of you are probably already trying to read this word and pronounce it, and you may have already done so. So our first step is to spot our what? Our vowels. And I remember that this week we're really working on the diphthong. And so I saw that vowel O, but I noticed there's a W behind it, and that is a diphthong because that W is going to pinch that O and make it say ow. And look right here, another O-W. So I underline those together, and then I'm going to build my bridge in between, and I'm going to label those vowels here. And looking on this bridge, I see 2 consonants on my bridge. When I have 2 consonants on my bridge, one goes one way, one goes the other. I split down the middle. Now I'm going to cover that second syllable and just focus on the first syllable. I know it's a diphthong because I underlined my diphthong, so I'm going to put D-I, and I'm going to pronounce it like a diphthong, ow, right here. Down. Now I'm going to look over here, same thing, diphthong. D-I for diphthong. Now I'm going to pronounce that with an ow. Town. Downtown. Downtown is my word. So if you'll just pay attention, I just wanted to help you to practice that diphthong pattern and labeling it with a D-I because we haven't done that yet. And so I wanted to do that along with you. I know you enjoy syllabication, so I'm going to let you finish the others and then just check yourself. Ask your parents for your answer sheet that's in your packet and just check yourself. Remember that when you syllabicate a word, the most important part is that you go back and read each syllable and then read the whole word together. It does no good to syllabicate a word if you do not read that word, because the purpose of syllabication is to help us read those bigger words and become a great reader. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.